Good evening, members, officers, visitors and members of the public. My name is Councillor Andy Booth and I shall be the chairman for this evening's meeting. This meeting may be recorded and the proceedings will be conducted in accordance with the Council's constitution, including procedural rules which are available on the Council's website. Agenda item 1, emergency evacuation procedure. We are not expecting a fire drill this evening. If the fire bell sounds, it will be for real. Please make your way to the nearest available exit and avoid use of the lifts. Does anybody this evening need assistance with getting out of the building? No, good. Once you're out of the building, follow directions from Democratic Services. It's important that you remain outside until the building is deemed fit for re-entry or either go home. Members must consider each application that they are looking at this evening and everything that is said in the meeting concerning that application and make their decision based solely on their planning judgment of the information available to them. Following a decision by you, the members, delegated authority is given to the planning officer to issue the decision notice. Planning permission is not granted or refused until the issue of that planning notice. And any member of the council who is not a member of the planning committee may attend as a visiting member and may speak, having given prior notification. Such visiting members may of course include board members, and whilst visiting members can speak on an application, they are not of course permitted to vote. Any member acting as a substitute on the planning committee must have undertaken appropriate training before doing so. Members must remain in the meeting for the whole time that each item is being deliberated and should not vote on that item unless they have done so. I know we have some speakers this evening, so welcome to you. I will call you at the appropriate time. You will have 3 minutes to speak and you'll get an audible note when there are 30 seconds left of that 3-minute session. If the meeting is deferred to conduct a site meeting, you may speak both at this meeting and at the site meeting and when it comes back to the planning committee. The meeting will follow the order set out on the agenda. I've not chosen to amend that agenda item listing this evening, so it will be business as per usual. Agenda item 2, please, Philippa. Apologies and substitutes.
Thank you, Chairman. Apologies have been received from Councillor Anne Kavanagh, and she is substituted by Councillor Karen Watson. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councillor Watson, good evening to you and welcome. Thank you again for offering to substitute at this meeting. Agenda item 3. This is for members of the committee to approve the minutes of the extraordinary meeting held 25th of November 2025 and the meeting held on the 4th of December 2025. When members that were present at both those meetings, happy for me to sign those as a true record. Agreed? Thank you very much. I'll do so at the end of this meeting. Agenda item 4. This is for me to invite members who have a declaration of interest. So initially, declaration of pecuniary interest, please. None. A declaration of disclosable non-pecuniary interest. Councillor Jays.
Thank you, Chair. It's on the third item, the lease. It's my parish council which I chair. My name was originally put in the application form. In discussion with the monitoring officer, I will leave the room and take no part in that decision.
Thank you very much. Councillor Nundy, you're here as a ward member.
Yes, thank you, Chair. I'm also speaking on the same item that Councillor Jace has just spoken about. I'm also on the parish council, but I'm a board member and I won't be voting on it, so I'll just say my piece and that'll be that, if that's okay with you, Chair.
Okay. Did you make a decision at the parish with relation to this?
Yes.
I think that is a conflict. If you made a decision at the parish meeting. Yeah. It sits with you, but if you feel...
Right, okay.
Thank you. I read one part of that then. I would like to remind the meeting that where it is possible that a fair-minded and informed observer, having considered the facts, would conclude that there was a real possibility that a member might be predetermined or biased on any agenda item, the member should declare that possibility and leave the room while the item is considered. Part B.
Mr. Chairman,
Sorry, Councillor MacDonald.
Yeah, I also serve on Minster Parish, but I think I wasn't there when they were deciding about the particular application.
You think you weren't there?
No, I know I wasn't. I was probably in hospital.
Right. Okay, thank you. Again, the same commentary would apply to you, Councillor MacDonald. Part B, reports of Planning Committee to decide. So agenda item 5, this is the deferred item, which we spoke about at the last meeting. This is deferred item 25-500-115-full, the Abbey School Faversham, Mike Echo 13-8 Romeo Zulu. Can I ask the planning officer if there is any update on the application and any other items we need to know before we invite the speakers?
Thank you, Chairman. Yes, there is one update actually. There was an objection received this morning on the application raising concerns regarding the environmental impact of 3G pitches, and this matter has already been addressed within the previous committee report. I have prepared a brief presentation highlighting the updates, amendments since the previous committee. If you'd like me to present that, please let me know.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Thank you. So deferred item 1 regards an application for full planning permission for a synthetic turf pitch, including associated fencing, floodlighting, storage, and additional car parking. The application was initially reported to Planning Committee last month, where the committee resolved to defer the application to gain further details of the proposed acoustic fence. To briefly recap, the site forms part of the Abbey School grounds and comprises existing playing fields, open space areas, and existing parking areas. The applicant proposes to install a Jacoustic absorptive acoustic fence and submitted construction drawings and a brochure which detail its composition of timber with an absorptive layer covered with a protective membrane on the side facing the pitch to reduce noise reflection. A supporting letter from the applicant's acoustic consultant has also been provided, confirming that the proposed acoustic fence would effectively mitigate noise impacts. The Council's Environmental Health Officer has reviewed the materials submitted and advised that the acoustic barrier will mitigate impacts almost 3 times more than the requirements under the guidelines. A verification of condition number 25 has been included accordingly, and condition 21 has been updated to reflect the submitted details. Minor amendments are also proposed, which includes extending the pitch fencing to attach the acoustic barrier to prevent vandalism, and a gate is included for maintenance access. Soft landscaping is also now proposed to the southern side of the acoustic fence to soften its appearance. Condition 2 has been updated to reflect the amended drawings. Finally, it can be confirmed that the hours of use secured by condition 24 matches the hours of use of the existing pitch, and the applicant has confirmed that they accept the restricted hours of use as per the recommended condition. The additional information provided is considered to address the matters raised that led to the deferral of the application and has improved the proposed development. The application therefore remains recommended for approval as set out in the previous committee report and subject to the updated conditions within the latest committee report. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Before we get into the members, can members confirm they received an email yesterday from Mrs. Nicola Broad Bartlett? By show of hands, please. Super.
And I could read the contents.
No, I'm good, thank you.
No, I'm saying, and I could read the contents.
Sorry,
because
okay.
It's no good just receiving.
No. One presumes people can read it as well, so.
Well, it's a moving file, so you can't
Yes.
always.
Yeah. Good, that's now clear. Okay. Can we have the speakers' fees? The first I've got is Town Councillor Mr. Josh Rowlands, representing Faversham Town Council. Josh, are you with us and can you hear us?
Yeah, good evening. I can hear you and I'm with you.
Superb. Usual procedures, Josh, you've got 3 minutes. As I say, you'll hear a tone when you've got 30 seconds left. As soon as you start speaking, you have the floor and your 3 minutes starts.
Thank you. Well, good evening, Chair and members of the committee, and thank you for allowing me to speak. If you allow me, I'd like to ask you to cast your minds back to last year, and particularly the 27th of July, the Women's Euros final. Like many others, I was watching with friends and their children. One of them, a 10-year-old girl called Lisa, who had fallen in love with football 4 years earlier when Chloe Kelly scored that famous winner. That night, Lisa sat with us in her England shirt, watching her favourite player step up and score the winning penalty. She celebrated with passion like any of the others she would have done, and actually did. But despite her passion, Lisa couldn't actually play football until recently. Not because she lacked ability, not because there were no coaches, but simply because there wasn't enough pitches available in Faversham for teams like Strikeforce to use. That's a problem that we've been facing in Faversham for such a long time, and something that you have tried to address in Swale via your pitch strategy. This pitch allows us the opportunity in Faversham to allow more children to play football, to allow more children to take part in activities. I completely understand the concerns that have been raised from residents, and these concerns deserve to be heard. But this pitch provides a valuable community facility, and the updates that have been put forward, I feel, mitigate some of the concerns that have been placed. It just actually feels that this is the time for us to move forward. Faversham Strikeforce is such an important part of the Faversham community. We have over 860 players and 170 volunteers already. The social benefits have been laid out in open letters that I've seen have been sent to you. And I just felt that it was necessary this evening to speak on behalf of the Town Council and actually echo our support for this cause. We need this pitch in Faversham. Swale Borough Council has identified this, I've already mentioned in your pitch strategy. So please, I urge you to vote for this proposal this evening.
Are you complete?
Yeah, that's me, sorry.
Fantastic. Councillor Rowlands, thank you very much. Next we have, please, Mrs. Nicola Broad-Bartlett. Again, hopefully you can hear us. Soon as you're,
can you hear me?
Of course, thank you. As soon as you start speaking your 3 minutes, again, you'll get a 30-second buzzer. The floor is yours.
Good evening. We have lived as the nearest neighbours to the school for 25 years and have always accepted that noise at certain times would be a given. We didn't object to the first artificial pitch in 2010, as we understand how important sport is for the local community. Indeed, I'm very pro-fitness, having represented my country at my own sport. We are here this evening to look at the noise implications of a second artificial pitch being installed, and if the proposed sound barrier will be adequate to protect my house from the negative effects of excessive noise. The noise report by Acoustic Consultants Limited clearly indicates what noise levels are acceptable. It sets out the method they have used to determine what noise will come from the proposed pitch, and therefore what barrier will offer adequate protection for us. If this report is read carefully, you'll find that the noise assessment has been made on the assumption that the pitch will be used in isolation and not at the same time as any of the existing pitches. Additionally, it is based on a study of a maximum of 50 participants. Yesterday, I shared 3 files with the committee. This is to show you our reality of living next to one artificial pitch. The files included a photo of the existing artificial pitch taken on a weekend, which shows in excess of 200 people, both spectators and players. A video taken from my house window showing the noise generated on a typical weekend. And finally, a noise reading taken from my house of 78 decibels, but also showing a max of 90. Based on the evidence provided, I would urge you to consider if the acoustic consultants have submitted a noise assessment report that is accurate and true to life. We have already noise way above the 55 decibels, which their report considers to be a significant annoyance and critical health effect. I cannot see how you would accept this latest noise report being realistic to its intended use. However, if you do decide to grant planning permission, I trust you will surely make it subject to the parameters that the noise assessment report has deemed acceptable. This would mean restricting the number of participants to 50, and that this pitch cannot be used at the same time as any other pitches, because anything exceeding this would mean the sound barrier recommendations are irrelevant, as is the noise report. Lastly, please bear in mind that these pitches are being used 7 days a week from early morning to late night. It's a commercial enterprise and not just for the benefit of the school's pupils and local clubs. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mrs. Broad-Bartlett. And lastly, we have Carl Taylor, please. Mr. Taylor, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Excellent. Again, 3 minutes and the 30-second buzzer as soon as you start to speak. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name's Kyle Taylor, and I'm here on behalf of the Abbey School. The Abbey School, as you all know, serves a community with a significantly higher proportion of disadvantaged and SEND pupils compared to the national average. Our responsibility is always, as a school, to provide safe, high-quality opportunities for those children and families to be active, healthy, and included in their local community. The proposed 3G pitch supports that responsibility and expands our ability to meet those needs. At present, our grass pitches are unusable for large parts of the year due to weather. This restricts PE, limits access for girls and inclusive sport, and reduces reliable availability to local clubs such as Faversham, Strikeforce, and many other partners who look to use the pitch. A modern 3G pitch provides consistent year-round access on an established site with established facilities. Beyond sport, facilities like this support our wider community, bringing families onto the school site for positive, structured activities which help strengthen our community connection and confidence. The programme of use includes all areas of our community, with charities, minority groups, disability groups all signed up to utilise the pitch weekly, as well as ensuring a significant amount of usage is allocated specifically to women and girls football. To address the concerns raised, as you've heard already, about noise, the pitch will operate as a managed facility, which is enclosed, supervised and timetabled with conditions of hire. The additional 3-metre tall acoustic fence meets the reason for the deferral of from the last committee meeting. Lighting, the school have also agreed and accepted the reduced hours of lighting, and the LED floodlights proposed are directional and designed to minimise glare. Motive, any income generated through use of the pitch is entirely reinvested in the operation and maintenance and supports local sport and education. The school is not a commercial entity, nor is it a profit-making entity. We are seeking a sustainable, well-managed community facility, ensuring the Abbey community continues to help its wider community. Officers have assessed this proposal and have recommended approval, confirming that subject to conditions, it is acceptable on the relevant planning considerations. It will strengthen local sports provision, support health and well-being, and provide a safe, well-managed facility for young people and families across Faversham. I'd respectfully ask that the committee approve the application, and thank you very much for your time.
Perfect timing. Thank you, Mr. Taylor. Okay, so for procedural matters, the item needs to be discussed. In order for that to happen, it needs to be proposed and seconded. The proposer and seconder, it does not indicate their preferred choice whether to refuse or adopt the application. So to move it forward, I will propose in line with the officer recommendation, that is reference number 25-500-115/full, is approved. Is that seconded, please?
I second.
Very vocally, Councillor Winkles.
Yeah, I said I was second, yes.
Yep, thank you very much indeed. So that is seconded. I see one hand initially, Councillor Hunt.
Thank you. I think as a committee, when we make decisions, we have to look at evidence. All the evidence that we've got is showing that this should be approved. As officers have looked at it, we've had the extra information and amendments that have been made, so that would hopefully deal with any concerns that anyone had last time. Although we have had readings being sent to us on an email and videos, I've dealt with noise complaints various times with residents, and it is difficult because the equipment that we use hasn't been properly calibrated, or anyone can use. It has to be done properly. We need to know what the background levels are without the sports facility being open. I mean, London Road is quite nearby, and I'm sure there's quite a high volume from that road anyway. So we can't take what we have been given as any evidence. We have to use what we have got in the report and what officers have come up with the recommendation for. So I see no reason why this shouldn't be approved.
Thank you, Councillor Hunt. Councillor Ben Martin, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Looking at what we now have following that deferral and the additional information we have, we're actually in a position where the situation on the ground, should this be approved, would probably be better for the resident than what they currently have. Having an acoustic fence that is 3 times better than what is required for what has been applied for, and is positioned in the way that it has been, will assist with reducing some of that noise issue from the existing pitch. Having it so that it matches up with the hours of the existing pitch is also very welcome. After the last planning committee, on my way home, I actually let out several cars that were still leaving the facility. So had we had that original later finish, bearing in mind I wouldn't have been going past there until gone 10:30, had we had it open till 10:30, 11 o'clock, you'd be making life an awful lot more difficult. So now we have an application which is more acceptable, and therefore I would be happy to support it.
Thank you very much. I've got Councillor MacDonald, then Councillor Braun, please.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, I was just wondering how the monitoring was going to take place and whether there's a maximum set in the when the planning permission, if it's granted, actually has a maximum level that's accepted. I appreciate that London Road across the top there is a lot of background noise anyway, so it's rather difficult to show the increase, quite frankly. But anyway, I'm not that clever. Thank you.
That's fine. We'll come back to answers once we've got 3 more speakers. Councillor Braun, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If I remember correctly, I voted for this when it came to committee previously, and it was deferred by members who know a lot more about acoustic fences than I do, seemingly, and they wanted to know what kind of acoustic fence was going to be put in. And exactly what Councillor Martin says, it is 3 times above the requirement. I feel like the applicant has acted exactly how committee members asked them to, and they've added all this stuff, and yeah, I see no reason to object.
Thank you. Councillor Winkles and then Councillor Marchington.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, I'm on the same thought of this. I mean, we deferred it, and the applicant has gone away and listened and made some improvements with the acoustic noise concerns. And if I remember correctly what I said at when this came up last time, this is a nation that should be, we're 14 years on when we had the 2012 Olympics. And one of the legacies I understood was that sports facilities would be made, more sports facilities would be made available for youngsters to participate in sport. And on those grounds, I am fully behind the application.
Thank you, Councillor Winkles. Councillor Marchington and then Councillor Bonney.
Thank you, Chair. The last meeting I spoke about the acoustic fencing, as I used to install them all over the UK, as you know, and there's various levels of quality and bits and pieces, from deflective to absorbance, and I'm quite happy with the update from the message last meeting and the stated ISO statements and bits and pieces, and that someone's looked at it and they've changed the layout a bit, and I'm quite happy with the situation. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Marchington and Councillor Bonney.
It was just a question to the officer. I didn't understand in the update what the acceptable level was. It says what the reduction will be.
I think if we can have Councillor McDonald's answer first, then we go to Councillor Bonney.
Sure, because both questions go to this point about what is the acceptable level. I'll just turn back to the December report, because I remember that it was mentioned in there. So bear with me for one moment. Okay, so no, I haven't put the actual level into that report, but it is within the noise impact assessment that they set those levels. Those levels are dictated by national guidance, which also relates to World Health Organization guidance. So they set the levels as to what is an acceptable level of noise impact. I can't remember the exact level that is, but I mean, I could ask members to turn to that report if they really needed to know the exact level. But what we know is that the experts, the specialists in these fields, have looked at that. They found it to be below those guideline levels, and in fact, the acoustic barrier will reduce that by threefold. So it's well within acceptable levels. And in terms of the monitoring, so the new condition 25, requires an acoustic verification report. So it shall verify that all required mitigation has been implemented, and it provides the mitigation as stated in the acoustic report provided. So that ensures that what they are saying they will do will be verified once it's installed. They will monitor that using their specialist equipment, which will find that whether it's mitigating it enough, and they'll have to submit that detail to us. That will go back to our environmental health officer, who will check that it's acceptable. So this is going through quite a lot of scrutiny.
Mm-hmm. Good. We did have quite a long conversation about the acoustic impacts of this, and I concur in part with what the officer says. There are, if not tens of thousands, probably hundreds of thousands of sports pitches throughout the country, and they all have to have, where appropriately cited, a degree of acoustic treatment to properties and neighbouring businesses and the likewise. So I'm confident that the report says the recommended acoustic screen surpasses by quite some substantial figure the guidelines that we are bound to. And as Councillor Hunt alluded to, any acoustic equipment that's used for testing has to be certified, has to be checked, and has to be in first-class condition. We've all got, probably most of us have got acoustic meters on our phones, which are handy, but not in a court of law. Okay, I see no further hands. Those in favour of the officer recommendation, please show. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Those against. 1, 2. Any abstentions? That therefore is approved and subject obviously to the officer writing the appropriate document. Thank you very much. Turning swiftly, page 47 of your agenda pack. This is item 2.1, reference 24-503414-full, erection of a porter cabin at Abbey Works, Abbey Fields in Faversham. Can we have an update if there is one, please?
Thank you, Chairman. No updates from me, but slides are available if required.
Thank you very much. So, in line again, I shall make the recommendation, reference 503414 full for approval. Councillor Hayden Braun has seconded that. Thank you very much. Members. Councillor Clark.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Much as has been spoken about before, I don't like retrospective applications, but they are a necessary evil in our current planning system. The only thing I would like to see on this application for this porter cabin is if a condition could be included in the permission, should it be granted, that the porter cabin is used in perpetuity for the stated use, and at no point should it be turned into a residential unit. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Clark. I'm happy to second that from the chair. Members, anybody want to speak to that? Everybody agree? Should that be approved? Yep. Thank you. Anybody else? Okay. No, you're right, Councillor Clark. Just because it's retrospective doesn't mean to say we need to turn it down. It's disappointing, I will say. It's disappointing that an operator of this magnitude has done a retrospective. They know the system. They know how it operates. It's just aggro. Okay, no further speakers or questions. Those in favour, please show. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Those against? 1. Any abstentions? No. That is therefore approved, subject to formal documentation. Thank you. Agenda item 2.2. This is reference hold fire. Reference 25-502450-full, erection of a small metal beacon on a timber square post. I'm happy to move the officer recommendation. Who wants to second that? Councillor Clark, you can second that. Thank you very much. Do we have an officer update, please?
No update, Chairman. Slides are available if required. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So the reason it's here is because the council own the land. I'm going to say again, I'm disappointed that it's retrospective. I'm disappointed. The VE Day celebrations didn't creep up out of the blue, did they? We knew about this for a long time. I won't dwell on it any longer. Does anybody want to say anything about it? Okay, the only things I would like to add on the conditions, if you're happy, should it be approved, I would like to see added that routine maintenance will be the full responsibility of Minster Parish Council, and also that the item is insured by Minster Parish Council. It may sound daft, but having had experience of that with another parish council, it does make sense. Ian, please.
If I may, Chairman, those matters would be handled other regimes and territories and wouldn't need to be controlled by planning.
Okay,
so
but for the minute then.
I've suggested no, the recommendation is without conditions at all. But so for councillors to decide.
Councillor Marchington.
Yes, thank you, Chair. It's very similar to the beacon we've got at Queenborough, and Queenborough is run and organised by the Queenborough Town Council, and of course it's maintained by them and is also insured by them. And I think this is paramount to many beacons around the coastline. Thank you.
Councillor Hunt.
Just a comment on because I think that should be a given that is what they do. But I think from what has been said, it's probably, I assume the parish council will have to have a licence from this council to have the land, and that's where that would come in. And as a condition, I can't see that we could do that because it's not a reason that it wouldn't be granted if it wasn't that condition. So,
okay,
but could it be an informative if you want something on there, an informative saying that to make sure that it is within the licence would seem probably the best.
I'm happy to change the condition to an informative. If that's acceptable. Councillor Port, you happy with that? Cool. Members happy with that? Excellent. All in favour, please show. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Are you abstaining? 16. Those against? And abstention? 1. That is therefore then carried and approved subject to formal documentation. Thank you very much, members. We're doing very well. Agenda item 8, which are the part 5s. They start on page 73. And again, I'd applaud the officers in the way that we asked for these to be set out so that we have a list of appeal approved or appeal disallowed. So I'll go through. If anybody wants to comment on any item, please shout. 5.1. Councillor Hunt.
We'll just comment that the time that it seems to have taken to get from enforcement through to the appeal and coming is ridiculous. Not on the council's part, but obviously on PIN's. It's 3 years on this one for it to be an application come through and be refused or the notice being given to get to this point. Obviously, PIN's will be listening to our meeting. They need to get things sorted out, don't they?
Yeah, I tend to agree. I think what it clearly identifies that the officers got it right, and that was upheld by PIN's. So, really good. Councillor Brawl.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to say, may as well say it on this one rather than any of the others. Another great, excellent lot of results from the officers on these appeals being dismissed.
Thank you very much. 5.2. It's not 5.2, it's nearly 22, but item 5.2. No, again, great decision. 5.3. No, great decision. 5.4. Great decision. 5.5. Great decision. 5.6. Click, click. Councillor Winklis.
Sorry, Chair, I thought perhaps you hadn't noticed me.
No, this is not a bar, Councillor Winklis.
My apologies. Yes, I'm very pleased with the outcome of 5.6. The development that was proposed at the back of 67, 69 Street. I did have some involvement as the ward council at the time. And obviously they appealed, and the inspector came down and looked at it, and the officer concerned gave a very thorough reasons for not accepting it, mainly because it's within the heritage area. So I'm very pleased with the outcome of that. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Winklis. I'm glad to hear the fingers still work. 5.7. Disappointing, I would say. disappointing. But again, if you read the inspector's findings and the report, it does make quite interesting reading. And again, as I always say, keep hold of this part of the documents because they do make some good reading if you're looking to exercise your rights to challenge some of this material in later times. 5-8. Good result, I would say. And 5-9. Another good result. So, as Councillor Braun said, I think applause where applause is needed. And it helps rejuvenate, I think, the confidence in our professional officer team. So, congratulations, team. Members, that brings us to the end of the meeting. It is now nearly 7:45. Thank you for your attendance. Thank you for your contributions. Have a good, safe journey home. The weather is not nice. And see you all very soon. I close the meeting at 7:41.